Welcome back to the download. I'm Sara Connell. I'm your host, and I'm really excited for what we are going to do today. I'm thrilled that you're joining us either live here in the main event on Substack, or if you're watching later, welcome. We're thrilled that you're here for this next episode of the download. And there's my guest today. We have the amazing Chandani Patel Thompson with us today, and we're going to do something so cool. I mean, really, like, we are lucky people that this is the middle of a workday, in the middle of a week. Those of us that work corporate jobs, there wasn't always something that you could do in the middle of the day that was going to actually change the trajectory of how you feel, your energy, your brain. And we are going to actually get to have an experience together. You're going to meet Chandani and hear about the incredible work she's doing, the movement that she's leading. And I'm so excited. So I'm not going to do any more preamble, except let's get into it so we can have the most incredible time together. And Chandani, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Awesome. It's so glad to be here. I've been waiting for this. I'm so excited.
Yes. Yes. This is really exciting. So Chandani and I got to know each other. Actually, did we meet through Julie Ciardi, like originally, or I can't remember exactly how, but anyway, the universe brought
Yes.
us together. And I'm so grateful that that has happened because there's been so many neat ways we've been able to overlap and collaborate and play together and learn from each other. So Chandani, we start most of these episodes about, I want you to let everyone know, who you are, and you can give a little bit. We'll get into your background, but let's just do a quick, like, who you are, what you've been doing in the professional world, and then I want to ask you the question I ask everyone, which is, when did you get the download for what you're doing now and what we're going to be working on today? So let's just give everyone a little bit of backstory so we know kind of where you've come from.
Yeah, totally. This is my first Substack live, so I'm so excited for
Oh,
this.
yay. All right. Well, enjoy the water's nice. What do they say? Come in the pool, the water feels good, or I'm botching that. The water's great. It's something about the water being nice. So the water's nice at Substack.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I'm Chandani Patel Thompson. I'm an attorney. I'm a mom of three. I'm a speaker and the creator of the Point One Daily Gratitude Journal that we're going to talk about here today. But up until a year ago, I spent nearly 20 years in corporate legal departments, including companies like Apple, Sephora, Adobe, Pop Sugar Media. 13 of those years I spent practicing law, which I loved. I loved being close to the business, helping people really navigate complex decisions, and being that someone that others could rely on these like really high pressure moments and decisions for these companies, right? But at the same time, I was raising three little babies. They're still fairly young, and moving between those two parts of my life, as many working parents do, right? Which required a lot of attention. And at work, I was always thinking about the risk, the worst case scenario, how to mitigate that risk. As lawyers, we're trained to actively, fight zealously and advocate for our clients. But we have to look at the worst case scenario in order to do that, in order to think critically. And so we're
Yeah.
constantly, then our brain is constantly scanning
Yes.
for the worst case scenario, right?
Hmm.
Um, and that's a good thing,
Oh, and Chandni, we
but
just
we
lost you
don't
for a
necessarily
second.
hold
Let's just make
space
sure.
for
Oh, there
looking
we go.
for and scanning the good around us. So I'd be at home, right, thinking about meals and schools and logistics and emotions of these little people and my own. And I became really good at carrying all of this responsibility, all of this pressure, but also
Mm.
thinking really critically, right? And as we think so critically at work, it tends to permeate into other areas of our lives, as we're so familiar.
Chandni,
And
can I stop there? Because I think this is
yeah,
a really important point. Whether you're trained as a lawyer, like some of you here are watching and saying, yeah, I went to law school, I worked as an attorney, and you have to focus on the worst case scenario to do your job well, because you've got to protect. Were you mainly navigating like contracts or mergers and acquisitions? Like, can you tell us a little? Because we want to get
yeah.
into how this affected you. Anyone who's in jobs where you have to be hyper vigilant or thinking through the negativity bias, like, you got paid to do that well. But to tell us a little bit more about what you were doing, and because it's going to lead to really the antidote that you're
Mhm.
creating for whether someone's an attorney, in a high pressured C-suite job, an entrepreneur, a parent. There's I don't know who's not in a high pressure situation right now. I feel like in
Um,
the world, being alive on planet Earth in
yes.
2026. But, so we all need you and what you do, but tell us a little more about, like, what you were helping, when you were in the practicing law years.
Yeah. Oh, so fun. I don't get to talk about this so much in the last year, but, I was most of my career second in command, which I loved being. So I was running the day-to-day for, when I was at, small organizations like Pop Sugar Radio, my most recent at TuneIn Radio, and even being a product attorney at Adobe, and at Sephora because they were small teams, was being the person that is a generalist for the company. So anything that the corporation needed, it could be an employment litigation
Oh,
matter, it
wow.
could be a contract. I did a lot of sweepstakes for Sephora and vendor agreements for all of the brands that came in as a reseller.
Wow.
So I have a very broad, so think of me as like an ND for a doctor that you would go to a generalist, and then
Yeah,
I
you
would
were the
tap
GP
into. Mhm.
lawyer versus if they needed, "Oh, we need someone for litigation in this very particular, like, human resources issue," you'd bring someone who is maybe a specialist in that. Like, "Go to the surgeon now because I've done my GP assessment, and now you need to go to the, ear, nose, and throat person," or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
like,
Okay.
so trademark law, for example, like, I have my amazing trademark attorneys, and so I work with a lot of outside counsel, all the specialists I
Yeah.
had, and I got to, curate what needs a specialist, what needs my attention. Of course, most of my contracts were left in-house, because we know how to mitigate the risk for that particular business. We know what the business risks are because we're so close to the business. And we also then know how much risk that particular business is willing to take. So
Mm,
contracts typically, I did a lot of contracts, terms and conditions, and later in my career, most recently in the last 4 years, was privacy and AI, policy,
wow.
regulation,
Right.
inside. What can we do? What do we do externally? What do we do internally? So it was a very broad scope. And what I say with this mindset shift that I learned through the gratitude practice that changed my life, which is where we're kind of getting into,
Yep.
is I had such a switch cost. You hear all these different things I had to do, right? And I
Mm,
constantly am switching in the role that I had and then going into parenting. There's constant switch costs causes
yes,
that decision fatigue, right?
for
And you
sure.
have to figure out how to take the pause and integrate
Mhm.
different things to regulate and alleviate that pressure, which is why I talk about mental rest so much. And we talked about that at my summit,
Oh my
right?
god, yes.
And all of the different things that you could do to
Mm.
reduce the decision fatigue because you are constantly creating this for you with this pressure.
Yeah. And I'm getting, Chandi, because we're gonna move into now what you're doing now, right? And we're gonna talk about the when the download came for you
Yes.
to get that aha moment of when you or succession of moments. Sometimes it's not like one burning bush, right? It's that suddenly this is like this theme keeps coming and we can't let it go. It's like, why do I keep thinking about whatever? And that becomes like our movement. That's a different form of a download,
Mhm.
right? So okay, so we have you saw the effects on you and others of the switching costs, right? And then you saw mental load, I really heard in there as well, because it's the switching of now I'm in mom mode, now I'm in lawyer mode, now I'm in turking external counsel versus internal generalist. Like there's that switch costs, but the mental load of even holding that you have to protect these companies from worst case scenarios is kind of like what we do as parents because we're like, don't go near the outlet
Mhm.
or near the stairs or like, is this sleepover safe or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So you're holding and holding, and so are the people that you serve. So take us to the moment when you had either a slow successive download or a revelation on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, happy to. And what we're talking about is so true because I was constantly mentally preparing, like I said, mental load, anticipating the next problem. And then in November 2024, it was a very specific, I wouldn't say the download at that time, but at that time was a very specific change in my life where we were going through an acquisition, which is very heavy on an small legal team and trying to manage the, day to day. And my baby was only 8 months old at the time, right? Or yeah, she was born in January, so 10 months old. Um, and I'm still breastfeeding and still managing and doing all of these things and I have two older ones. I have three, right? So I was like at my wit's end with overwhelm and all this mental load and pressure, and I was not taking care of myself. But I'm also a paper snob, and I needed a new journal. And I started looking online for a new journal, and I happened to find a gratitude journal. I did not know what a gratitude journal was before then. I didn't know
Mm.
anything about a gratitude practice.
Wow.
This was November 2024.
Wow.
I was just like, "This looks cool." It's a 6-minute practice, which we know mine is also, and I can fit this into my day. This looks fun. Let's try it. Bought the gratitude journal, put it on my bedside,
Mm.
started practicing it. And it was a 3-minute morning practice, 3-minute, I think it was a 3-minute, and it might not have been split,
Yeah.
but that's what I do now, 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. And it was funny because I was working with an executive coach at the time, and about 60 days in, she stopped me in a one-on-one conversation, and she was like, "Okay, what have you been doing differently?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Your energetics have completely shifted. You were so much more guarded. You're so much more open now. You're so grounded. Like, what are you doing?" And I literally did not know. I had to go back and figure out what have I been doing these last couple months. We've been only been working together since November. The only thing that I had started incorporating was a gratitude practice. And
Wow.
by January, I had this is 60 days later, consistent practice. It was crazy.
And
So
that
the
she was
download.
noticing this is a coach, this is
Mhm.
someone who
As a
knows you
coach.
intimately and is seeing this it's like when you see someone and you think, "What are you eating differently?" or "What are you did you fall in love?" Like, she could see clearly, like, some kind of big change,
Yeah.
and you because to me, like, in the download constellation, you finding you having the desire to seek a journal, and you
Mhm.
wanted a really nice, lush, beautiful one, paper snob friendly, and then you find this grad, "Oh, it might be fun," and you start doing it, and it all feels kinda random, like, "Oh, I just picked that one," and then you get this reflection back from this coach that says, "What are you doing?" And that was the thing you were able to trace back as the only variable. So
Yeah.
then what
It was
happened?
what an aha, right? So then after that, maybe it only took me like a couple days to figure out "Oh my god, this is the only thing I've been doing because it was right there on my bedside,
Mm,
and so I could see it every day. So I did it in the morning and then right before I went to bed, made it accessible to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really am." I think within 2 weeks, I was like, "Wow, I feel lighter. Wow, every lawyer needs this."
mm,
It was the first time in my life where I was like, "I feel like I have so much more capacity in my brain."
wow.
And I did not know the science
Mhm.
until I started
Right,
researching this.
right.
Because that moment was really when I had the download, like, literally 2 weeks later, I went back into group because we met one-on-one at
Yeah,
that point, then went into group. And I told everyone, "Oh my god, I think I'm gonna create my own journal for this because every lawyer needs it. I wanna feel seen. I want them to feel seen." And my journal didn't have enough space for my analytical mind, and I was already somebody who wrote things down and manifested and did intention setting, and there
right.
wasn't enough space in there for me to do both my gratitude, my intention setting,
Mm.
and and then tracking my wins. And as I started doing more of the research, and we can go so into the research
Oh,
and the
yeah.
science, but I started then getting little nudges or serendipities. This is where I say
Mhm.
the downloads started coming
Right.
in even more quickly
Yes.
because what I did after that was I found a mentor easily. Like, it was, like, in front of my face, like, "Here's a print mentor. Here's somebody who's gonna help you, develop this journal in the way that in the format you want and the
Yes.
way that you want." Okay? And literally 2 months after that, my Pilates instructor tells me she a year earlier had done a journal for meditations, and
Right.
she was like, "Do you need a designer?" I found my amazing designer, like,
Wow.
all within, like, literally 4 months, it had all happened, and to find a local designer in a place I just moved to,
Right.
like, it was just crazy. Everything
Isn't
was
this
happening.
so exciting? I'm getting that W.H. Murray quote that many of you know, which is like, "When we commit, providence moves too, and doors open where there were no doors, and all manner of unforeseen things that feel like magic happen," because you just said, "I'm going to do this," right? Our decisions determine our destiny, and you said, like, I needed this. It has radically changed my life, my mental load, my constantly not thinking about the negative and the worst case that you were trained and programmed to do for your profession. Suddenly you could think about wins and you could think about things that are going well and things you're grateful for, and it changes your neurology and your physiology, your biology. And this is it's so cool. Let's talk about the science. Give us some top line. Like, what are, if you had to say the coolest three scientific things you learned in creating the gratitude journal experience? We're gonna get to do some, you all. So we're not just gonna talk about it today. I'm gonna show you the journals because I'm obsessed. I can't even, when you see, I'll do a little unboxing because I love them so much. But tell us a little bit of the science that you think is the coolest for us to know.
Yeah, okay, there's so much, but yes, I will try and limit it to 3. But just for some context, like, the practice itself is a 6-minute practice.
Yeah, the
There's a
way you just,
3-minute.
everyone, this is Chandani's like downloaded. This is what her download led her to a 6-minute daily practice. Okay. And that's and so yeah, tell us the science behind your way of doing it.
Yeah, and it's called the point 1 method, and the morning brief, I call it, the
Yeah.
morning practice is called the morning brief. It's a 12-week guided practice,
Yeah.
and the daily spread is the 6 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
And so in the morning, it's informed by the gratitude research, and neuroscience, but you spend 3 minutes with 3 gratitudes and getting really intentional about how you wanna move through the day. So there's a
Mhm.
prompt with a lot of space
Yeah.
on how you wanna see the day go.
Mm.
And that's really where I wanted to prioritize and make real what I wanted to do that day before
Mhm.
the day ran me, right?
Yes. So those of you that have studied neuroscience with me, this is segment intending. This is called future pacing, segment intending. There's many mental rehearsal. Like Chani's built this into the practice. So yes, you get expanded, increase your frequency. I mean, we know gratitude increases your immune system, all the stuff you're going to tell us more about, so many things. But then you get to segment intend. So
Mhm.
you're grateful and then also say, here's my intention for how I want the day to go. Okay, keep going. Tell us more.
And then during the day, there's a midday recess, which is really a short grounding or regulation practice when you feel stressed or
Mhm.
distracted or overwhelmed and you just need a reset. And there's one for every day on the daily spread. So that's 60 different practices based in really more nervous system regulation and somatics.
Yeah.
And then before the day ends, there's an evening practice I call the evening close, where you spend 3 minutes looking at what actually moved forward. What did you accomplish that day?
Mhm.
Who did you serve is the most important. Like with Adam Grant's research, I think this will maybe work backwards because that's my favorite part is writing down your wins and your accomplishments, what the impact level was. And it doesn't even matter what the level was that you choose. It's that you're thinking about
Yeah.
the impact that it had.
Yeah.
And then who did you serve by doing those things? And right, Adam Grant's research is on task significance. If
Right.
you can associate a task and what you did to the person that it served, it just creates so much more meaning and purpose in your
Mm.
life to motivate you to just go so much further.
I love this so much. I want everyone to take this in because if you hadn't read that research, Chandani's sharing it with us now, where you're able to see like the associate, because this is the brain science piece, right? Chandi, you and I are both brain science based, strategists and, bring that into our work. And so associating, oh, whether you're a lawyer and I, filed this contract for someone, like I know I have my business attorney is filing a piece of important paperwork for me in the next day or two. I am very grateful. She is on my gratitude list today, right? And I get to tell her, you're inspiring me to make sure to tell her how grateful I am to know I have someone who's really, really knowledgeable and has my best interest at heart, being able to put this contract together in a really like high win-win way and all the things, right? So I love this, but associating, she can say, oh, let's say she files that today. She'd say, I did this, but who was impacted? Well, Sarah, was she
Mhm.
is now going to have herself set up for what she needs. What's the right next step? That is so awesome. So whether it was we can do it for personal and professional, Chandani, in your system.
Oh, yeah. And, I do it as an entrepreneur, right? So many times. talking about, like, I think I have it open right now. It's like by accomplishing or completing, like getting my venue booked for my new offer, it was a huge win, right? It's had a large impact on the potential speakers that'll be served to be part of this speaker studio and my brand and the visibility for my brand, right? And also just giving space to people to come and experience that and hear other people speak about their lives. There's
Mm,
so much meaning into that, but we don't take the time to really think about
mhm.
that, right? That we might think about, "Oh, this is what I did today,"
Right.
but mostly what I didn't do. And then never are we really thinking about, "Oh, who was served by that specific thing that
Yes.
I did and
Yes.
what was accomplished?"
And I feel like there can be, those of you who've seen the film Schindler's List, which of course, won Oscars and, absolutely incredible film, but I remembered the first time I saw that movie, amongst the devastating range of emotions that watching any movie about the Holocaust or a similar type of event would evoke. There was a moment that really wasn't just about that only, but, if anyone remembers the film, there's this moment when Schindler's like, "I didn't save enough people. I didn't help enough people." Like, he's in the agony of what he didn't do.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
Mhm.
there's a film being made about him because of the amount of people that would have perished that he was able to save, and that is such a perfect example of the negativity bias at work, and I
Mhm.
remember when I saw that film, I remember thinking, oh my god, that's what we do. We as in human beings, we say, "Oh, I didn't," and, in the starfish story that some people have heard, someone's throwing these starfish back in the ocean so they don't dry up and die, and they're weeping, and there's so many, I didn't, make a difference. I didn't make enough of a difference, and the person says, "Well, you made a difference to that one." You made a difference to the one you did throw back in the water, and you made a difference to all the ones before, and even if there's 1,000, you made a difference to 300, that's 300 lives saved, right? And we don't do that, we think of the 700 that we didn't get to, and then we feel terrible, right? And guilty and oppressed and depressed and anxious and all the things. So, that's so cool, I want everyone to take away, if you didn't know that Adam Grant research of, um, the associate the task with the impact, right?
Mhm.
And then we're more motivated to keep making an impact, right,
Yeah.
Chandani? So gratitude is helping us with it is helping us with mental load, nervous system regulation, longevity. And there's studies, right, that are about the more you practice gratitude, the longer you live. I mean, and even journaling is actually a therapeutic practice. I know you know this, Chandani, just for everyone, listening. Um, you know, writing down and segment intending, and I mean, there's so many pieces that you've combined in only 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's really amazing. Can I show everyone how cool these are? Okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah, anything else you wanna
Well,
say
I did
before.
wanna add just on the brain science, right? We were
Yeah,
talking about about the gratitude, and we've touched on that. There's just so many studies,
yeah.
but the long form is or the short form of the long form is, it's everything from positive emotion to better sleep,
Yes.
and most recently, like, cardiovascular health. And I, like, wanna remind everyone, this is a very practical, short thing that you can do on a very consistent basis to have this type of impact on your health, right? And autoimmune health and the brain science, which you and I both love, these MRI studies really show a lot about, right, the gratitude related experiences that are really involved in the medial prefrontal cortex, right? But also involved in value and reward because those are the same systems, right? So the one study that I really love talking about is finding that the gratitude and altruism are associated with the same part of the nucleus accumbens, right? Which is the reward related region. So as we're continuing to do this is like where the positive psychology and the neuroscience comes in. There was a study that, like, after even 3 weeks of gratitude journaling, researchers saw a change in the way that that prefrontal cortex valued those benefits to other people.
It changes your brain. Like, that's what you guys, if you haven't seen these MRI and these EEGs or yeah, EEG studies, you're able to see in the brain what centers are lighting up and what brain matter is being reorganized. That's what the neuroplasticity, changing, like, your brain was organized around threat, worst case scenario, risk management, because it had to be and you were paid for that. and you got to rewire. This is when we talk about people say rewire your brain. It's like, what does that mean? So literally you are changing because of, neuroplasticity and neural pathways. You're making a super highway of gratitude instead of whacking through the machete through the jungle. And it's really cool. And I know everyone's really liking, those of you that are here are liking learning some of this science. So let's, Chani, I wanted to make sure everyone today gets to experience something here,
Yeah.
right? Because you guys, and we are going to let you have the links if you want to get one of the journals and have more information. We're going to drop the link here in a moment, but let me just show. I mean, because this is what like you said, Chandra, you went looking for a journal and you love paper and nice. I'm a very sensory person. I have like my where I write my downloads, and it's just beautiful. Like
Mhm.
it's a beautiful textured, cover, and has gold, things, and I like tactile things, right? And this is without a doubt. And you guys, I have bought in my day. I started journaling when I was 5. My grandmother gave me my first blank book, and I'm grateful to her forever. Um, and I have journaled for, many, many decades. And this is like the most gorgeous thing that's ever, just been sent to me. So I want to do a little unboxing. So this is and Chani, this is your mark that you created here, right?
Yes, that's
So
our
beautiful.
logo. Thank you.
So beautiful. And then when we open up, because I mean, just like I just have to, because I am such a tactile, like sensory person. I mean, look, it's gold printing on the inside of the box. This gorgeous handwritten note from Chandani's company in this gold, beautiful lettering, Clarity Print Company, right? So that's Chandani, that's your company here. Um, and then in this gorgeous tissue, okay, if that wasn't pretty
Well,
enough.
Sarah, can you read what's inscribed
Oh, yeah.
in just
And
so everyone can hear?
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right, because it was backwards on the thing. A quiet space where your breath deepens and clarity finds you. These 6 minutes are yours. Is that great? Isn't that amazing? So you're just being loved up, like, in the box itself? So I know, Chani, you do a few versions. So you created the lawyer journal first, right? Because you knew that was where
Mhm.
you came from, and you know very intimately the load that their lawyers were under. And then you realized, oh, but teachers need this, educators need it, parents need it, entrepreneurs need it, caregivers need it. Like, there's so many other populations
That
that
kept
need.
asking me for this.
Right, right.
Yeah, especially the educators, they would ask me to speak and they wanted a product specifically for
I
them.
mean, you guys, seriously, so if you're wanting to gift this either like to all your clients, like, people think about, oh, what's a gift I want to give when someone joins my program or my what? I mean, it's so, again, I'm such a freak for how gorgeous. And you have this beautiful sticker and wrapping, and then you're opening. This one is the Daily Gratitude Journal for Lawyers. Okay, so I know we have different versions. But again, the gorgeousness of this and linen. I mean, so you said you manifested the designer for this, right? And your journal, like your product mentor. How I mean, I could go so many places right now, and I know we wanna, like, do the thing, so I'm gonna keep it just to ask one question about, like, how much fun did you have picking out, like, all the
So
accents,
much
the
fun.
accoutrements, like building, a car or something. Some people are like, "I want all the gadgets," and, I mean, look at these gold, gilded pages, and then here, Chinese, where you're saying there's prompts. So you're not just left with, like, a blank page, you're getting the research-based, brain science-based, positive psychology based experience for your morning brief, your midday recess, and then going into so every day you have your morning brief. This is where you can be grateful and segment intend what you want for your day, morning recess in the middle of the day. And then we have our evening experience that you talked about where we're associating what were our wins, who did we impact. Just incredible.
Yeah, and, you have the original edition, which is now meant for all kinds of professionals, anyone who really is feeling like they're in a high pressure, high impact environment, right? Right? Caregivers, entrepreneurs, and it comes in that box. So it comes in the gift box.
So
Um,
beautiful. I mean, look at how and this is like, again, just the gore. So any of you who are love to touch things and have them be beautiful, or you want to give really beautiful gifts, or someone's going through a hard time. Like, I have a friend who just got in an accident, who's safe, thank God, but like is going to have some recovery. And so this is the kind of thing we can be thinking about for gifts, for others, or designing for our own. Like we said, if we want to, I mean, your company even helps if you want to make your own customized version of your journals.
Yeah, so about the design process, and we could talk
Yeah.
about that because I have something special just for your community, Sarah, here. But the design process was so much fun. So
Mm.
the designer helps with graphic design, but really I got to be a designer of everything else. Um, and it was so much fun because it was funny because I went back to my old roots and then I remember like in my undergrad, I wanted to design billboards for a living. So
Mhm.
I actually got into the business school at Cal Poly, and I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna go into the business school, and then I'm gonna transfer." Not thinking that I had to have a whole art portfolio and transfer into the art school. So I ended up just sticking with my marketing degree because I was like, I could still create
Sure.
billboards. But now I'm, like, actually designing on, like, a full-time basis, and it's so
Mm.
fun, and I absolutely love it. And every time I've been in rooms, like, Sarah, you know that, like, I came to Women Leading Movements
Yeah.
last year, and I started bringing these journals into rooms with all of these thought leaders and authors and entrepreneurs and other founders who have their own frameworks and their
Right.
own incredible bodies of work, and they all wanted to know how to do it themselves and how to
Right.
create their own. And then I joined the Gamma Group.
Yes, where we're doing the download book, everyone. So if you don't know
Yeah.
Gamma Group, if you're new to us on Substack, since my book's coming out October 6th, we did a beta group all this whole year, the Gamma Group of like doing the brain training. And so, yes, then you've been part of that.
Yes. Started practicing these activators that are in your book, Sarah, and one of the biggest experiences, right, was, like, reinforcing was, like, me paying attention when something keeps nudging me. I think you talked about this on Melanie
Yes.
Benson's podcast earlier. It's like, when do you know you have a download? It just
Right.
won't go away. And so, that was kept happening when I had this vision for taking some of your work, right, and turning it into a beautiful physical experience.
Yes.
And the idea just wouldn't go away. So, of course, I emailed you, I pitched you. We had a call, and I was almost like, you said, "Oh, this is almost like a bespoke journal arm of Clary Prinko." And I
Right.
remember thinking like, "Wow, yes, that's exactly what this is." It's such an important moment for me because I'm a 4/6 Manny Gen and manifesting generator, my human design with a lot of sacral authority. And so one of the biggest things I've had to learn in my life is like to respond to those nudges. Like first be aware, but then
Right.
respond to those nudges because they're definitely
Right.
telling me something,
Yeah.
especially when they're in my sacral and they just won't go away. And I was like, you know what? That is actually a really good idea. And other people are telling me this is a really good idea.
Yeah.
And I literally, so I very quickly, but I have my own medium, and every single year I do a 12-month reading with her.
Yeah.
And I was just going back and listening to the recording, and I said, "Wouldn't it be nice if I could just design all day?" Right?
Wow.
So then and then this we're having this conversation, and I'm like, "Wow, I think that I should offer this to other people, and then I could design, for my products and for others, and this would be so much fun." And so,
Ugh.
brand new, you guys are the first to hear. Sarah knows this, she
Yeah.
just mentioned, but that is becoming now Clarity Print Co Studio. So it's officially launching this fall
So
at our in-person event November 7th at the first edition, where I'll be launching the 2 additional journals as well. But studio is really for people who have this meaningful body of work. Maybe it's
right.
a book, a methodology, a framework, or even just a keynote or curriculum that they teach, and they want to explore what it looks like in a physical journal form. And so I'm offering
Oh
that.
my god, I love this so much because everybody the reason I wanted to have Chandani on, like, I love what I love bringing you all here. I love bringing you people that are in some way at the frontier of brain science, wellness, personal growth, peak performance, that are doing it in a really high integrity, high frequency way, who can teach us, so much about the way they're doing it. And Chani, what I love is like you've demonstrated, I'm so honored to have been, part of this journey where you're demonstrating the downloads. The first download, like you're in this job, you're holding all this critical negative, bias that you have to do for your work. You can't let it go. And this gratitude journal starts changing your life. Then it's suddenly you're getting this nudge download of, I had to create my own. And then suddenly that becomes you immediately attract, because this is how it works in downloading, right? You immediately attract the right mentor and the right designer to actually, because you can say I want to do this beautiful bespoke journals, but who's going to manufacture them? How do you get them printed? How do you make sure that it looks like this and not some junky Timu, whatever it might be, product or whatever? And then step by step. And then what's so interesting, right, is I call it the drive-by download, which is where someone else says something and then you're like, "Oh, wait, what?" And I just was in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I could do like a download journal," like we talked, and you were talking to it just specifically about that one, and I thought, but all of us who have a methodology or a book, or maybe we might want a companion piece, right? Because there's workbooks, but again, I love nice, pretty, cool feeling, nice luxury things, and so that you're making this, because honestly, a reason I haven't done more product-based things is because I don't like the quality.
Mhm.
That's just was a bit there was a barrier for me,
Yeah.
like, of other, and I think that's probably true for the, especially I don't wanna send, if I have clients like you, Chandani, I wanna send you something nice like this, right? Versus like, "Oh, yeah, you can get something kind of flimsy or not nice paper," or whatever it might be. So, it's so exciting because you have the origin, the lawyer journal, and that's gonna help with the mental load and even high suicide rates among there's a lot of work that's needed there, right?
Mhm.
Then you listened and you're like, "Oh, but there's entrepreneurs who have their own. They don't necessarily want my process. They need to have their process for their people and to create bespoke, gorgeous, beautiful gifts that they can do right alongside their IP, their thought leadership in our language here." And then it's all happened so fast. I just want to keep acknowledging the timeline. Like, I don't think I was aware even now. I just know I got obsessed with your work and these journals and everything, but I didn't realize that you are also just it was so fast from
Yeah.
2024. We're only in the halfway through 2026.
Yeah, and I didn't start this business until exactly a year ago.
Right. It's 1 year, everyone. So I just want you, when you think about getting these downloads, what Chandani is modeling, why I wanted to have you on, Chandani, and why I'm so excited to be partnering. You all know I've curated the download ecosystem of all the things that are going to help us get more downloads and act on them. Because Chandani, you're modeling that. You didn't just get them and sit on them. You did something about it. This exists. This is a thing we can hold in our hands and hug and put, next to our bed like you did, or next to, our clients' beds. And so, whether people want to order one for themselves, whether they want to order your current ones for people that they love, or they want to make their own with their own methodology, the fact that you're bringing that to us is such a gift. And so, I'm just so grateful to you, and also bravo everyone. Like, right, it's 1 year, look what can happen. Would you have imagined, like, okay, this is a neuroscience question, so let's just be like this.
Mhm.
I- what would yourself 5 years ago say if she saw you right now? This is take yourself 5 years back. So that's 2021. We're in the pandemic. What would she say right now?
Oh my god. Like, I'm so amazed because we were just surviving at that point, right?
Mm,
With 2 little babies and had no idea what our world was gonna look like post-COVID. No, I definitely could not have imagined how much growth, how much personal growth, just even in the last year, what
mm.
entrepreneurship can do for you. But
Wow.
I learned so much. I'm so grateful for my corporate career
Yeah.
to give me the lived experience now to share what can be possible for other people. Um, and the brain science for the lawyers that are in the role so that they can keep doing that meaningful and critical role work. But also now these educators that are in these intense systems and just trying to do right by their students, and the entrepreneurs. It's hard. I'm not going to say that, I'm here modeling what I can do, but it has not been easy.
No, it's not.
You're only seeing what has happened later, not in the trenches of everything that's been built and how hard it was and the mindset shift. And I don't think that it would have been possible without this gratitude practice.
Right, right. This was the gateway, and this is what you're bringing us. So let's do that. Let's end with we're gonna do something. We're gonna give us a little bit of gratitude practice and experience, and then we're gonna share everyone. Those of you that are here with us live, we're gonna share if you want to get one of these journals so you can do the full 6 minute practice that Chandani's created with the positive psychology and the neuroscience built in, or you'll have the contact information here in the show notes and everything if you want to reach out, Chandni, if someone wants to create their own with their methodology and all the different ways they can work with Clarity Print Co. So, okay, tell us what we're going to do.
Yeah. So I think we could just do three things that we're grateful for. We
Okay.
want to write down.
Okay, everyone let's do this in real time. So we're going to get something to write with, something to write on. I, of course, like paper. I'm very particular about what pens I like to use.
Use one of the
I,
journals.
that's right. I'm using it. I'm getting my blue pen that I'm
Yeah.
loving right now. Okay, awesome.
That I'm gonna get my feather pen. I love the feather
Yes.
pen.
So good. Okay. So we're going to write down three things we're grateful for today, right? All
Yep.
right. Let's do it together, everybody. Okay.
Okay, do you wanna share yours, Sarah?
Yes. So I am so grateful for Substack. I really am, just because to be able to be here live with you all, I know that this also gets to be sent out by email and gets posted on things, and that Substack is actually does that for us. I really do feel I've never said I'm grateful for a social media platform, I don't think before, but that was on my list for today just because I'm loving being here with you and getting to have this experience. I am incredibly grateful for the support people I have. You talked about the person in your life who does this mediumship reading for your 12 months. I have people in my life who are I can message at any time of day or night. There were 2 in particular that have been kind of holding and walking me with through a challenging situation, so I put both of their names down. You know who you are if you're listening. And then, I'm so grateful for my son. He's just started, sophomore year, and it's a beautiful day in Chicago. He has like, the first home football game this weekend, and he is excited to go to school, and this is a kid in the summer that's wanting to sleep till 1 o'clock because he's 15 and it's a teen brain, but that he was like jumping out of bed at 6, ready to go to school. So those were 3 of mine today.
Yay. Well, I am just so grateful for you and my time with you and being able to help be a partner with your
Yeah.
download launch and be in spaces with you. I think being in person is just so
Mm,
amazing and incredible. And I just get so much clarity being in community with you and all the downloads. So I'm just so grateful for you and your programs. And I said this at the dinner table because we do gratitude every
yeah.
dinner as a family, but I wrote it down today too. Is I'm so grateful for my past self for having so much
Mm,
courage to keep going
mm,
in the uncertainty. Like I was, and I think if I wasn't laid off after I started the practice, I don't, in which was about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I wouldn't have gone full fledged probably into this. And
mm.
so I'm grateful for that
Yeah.
nudge and the universe guiding me to this new path and giving me the courage, despite, letting go such an what I was so familiar with for
Mm,
20 years in that corporate legal department, and to keep going. And I'll end there, but I wanted to share the affirmation that I had, which was in the journal. I find gratitude in the clarity that comes from setting intentions. We talked so much about
mm.
intention setting today,
Yeah.
and that's the affirmation in week 9 of the Daily Gratitude Journal, and it's that week is all about releasing control and finding peace. So
Huge.
every week it's 12 weeks guided. Every week is a different theme. It has an
Mm,
inspiring quote by a beautiful leader
yeah.
and has the midday recess, like I said, which this one today is choose one small, manageable task and dedicate your full attention to it for 10 minutes. This builds a sense of accomplishment and reduces feelings of being overwhelmed.
Mm,
So I always try to explain the why,
yeah.
science, and a pause that you can do in the middle of the day.
So amazing. Who feels better? Those of you that are with us live, let us know. And those of you watching this later, just knowing when you just get to name three things you're grateful for and pause and breathe and maybe even hear, others share gratitude, right? Because I think there's like that communal, they talk about, negativity is contagious, but so is gratitude and so is passion and so is all the things. So what I want to before we conclude and share your how to keep in touch, everyone to get in touch with you, Chandani, to order their journal today so they can see and get this. I mean, it's such a treat for yourself. I hope everyone gives yourself this gift and orders one of these journals immediately. And then if you of course want to make one on your methodology for your community, then you can come into the new studio at Clarity Print Co. But let's all just name one thing that we want to have happen between now and we go to bed tonight. So we didn't do this first thing in the morning with you, Chandani. We're midday, but let's use your practice of just segment intending. So let's just take a minute and all set an intention. One more thing you would love to see happen between now and the end of the day. Okay, remember everyone, when you do this, your brain starts to go to work on making it happen. You will start subconsciously thinking of the person you need to be in alignment with that, to call it in and think of actions you can take. But also, it activates, Chandi, you talked about synchronicity, right? That starts bringing to you the people, places, and things like when you set the intention to create a gratitude journal for lawyers, you suddenly had the mentor, the designer, or the production, connections and everything that you needed to do this in such a short time. It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so did everyone set yours? All right. And then you're going to be on the lookout. You're going to follow your downloads because you're going to start downloading now that you've done this. You're going to start downloading, oh, reach out to this person or call this or oh, that time that you needed opened up, right? So this is really connected. I know Tina's like, okay, I'm connecting on the studio. I want to okay, I love it. Yes, Tina, if your fear's
Awesome.
been stopping you from doing it, gratitude can help us overcome fear. There's so many things. So, Chanji, will you share? We're going to put in the show notes and everything, but just for everyone who's on live, will you share a link in the chat? Anyone that wants to order a journal now, and then also the best way for them to contact you in the studio. Everyone, we're going to send this out in the podcast version of this. You'll have it in the show notes. You'll have it in all the things, and then as soon as the downloadbook.com is open, we'll have our entire download ecosystem. Chandani and Clarity Print Company is one of our partners as part of what I believe are the best people and things that help us live the download method. And so, great. So we have Clarity Print Co. You can order the journal. And then studio.clarityprint.co is for if you want to create a bespoke journal with your methodology. All right. Because I know people were asking about that. So phenomenal. We're going to, of course, share those with everyone. And then if you want to connect with Chandani about anything else she talked about today, find out about her event on November 7th, right? November 7th.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm happy to share that too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say too, with the reason I put the gratitude practice first is because you're regulating and getting into that, regulated space before you set your intention. So you can really
Right.
grab into it and already feel good
Mm.
about it. Because as you teach with the gamma method, right? We want to put ourselves into that and ask for the desire, put ourselves into
Yes.
this happy
Yes. And
place.
it's such an important distinction because if we just suddenly think, what do I want? We might be in a survival kind of way of asking that question, a little bit of a triage, like, I just want to I want to zero out my inbox. Whereas once we do the gratitude practice and get centered and regulate the nervous system, we might think, oh my gosh, I would love to make a connection today to bring my work into schools, or I would love to manifest this speaking engagement, or I would love to have one day. My intention, Chandani, was I want to laugh so hard by the end of the day. Like that was I just wanted to have a moment where something cracked me up so much that I was just, when you laugh so hard, it kind of hurts your abdominal muscles. I was like, I want to have that big of a laugh. And, the whole day was going by and I kind of forgot about it. And then my dog did something ridiculous. I don't remember even what it was now, but my husband and son and I were like doubled over, heaving with laughter. And I thought, oh my
Oh
God,
my God.
It was just like and that was what I really wanted that day, so it doesn't have to be manifesting $1,000,000, it could be, like, something that's just I just knew I wanted to laugh because things had felt a little serious and a little heavy, right? And so, so everybody connect with Chandani, get yourself the journal to start so you can really try this method out. That's the step one. And then if you are an expert coach, like many of you here, of course, we're all thought leaders, and you want to create one specially that's with your method, then of course, contact Chandani Met Studio and Clarity Prints, options there, or just connect at clarityprint.co so they can
Yeah,
connect
and
with
I'm
you directly.
offering complimentary 20-minute journal concept reviews for your community specifically before we even launch. So just reach out to me either here on
Amazing.
Substack too or
Yep.
connect at clarityprint.co. And, no sales call, just let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what you've already created, who it serves, and I can help you imagine another revenue stream for you, how this journal could really fit into your business model and be built around your specific body of work and IP.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. Everyone, please help me thank Chandani for this beautiful time together. I know that my serotonin, my dopamine, my endorphins, my nervous system, everything is feeling in such a great place. And I've learned things. I think we hopefully all learned something exciting. And so about the science behind gratitude journaling, positive psychology. So Chandani, thank you. Obviously, you're going to be on the tour with us. You can be in the room with Chandani in New York City, October 6th and 7th at Women Starting Movements. You can be in the room. We're going to be in Chicago with Chief together on October 15th. Chandani is going to be part of all of what because it's so complementary and that's why we partnered together, Chandani, to share this work so people can make the most out of the brain science that you and I have built into our work. And I'm so excited. This is just the beginning. So those of you who didn't know about Clarity Print Co. before today, I'm so happy that you do, either for yourself or for the people you serve. And do come and join Chandani on the tour in both Chicago and New York first, then Chicago, and obviously so many exciting things. People need to be following you here on Substack and keep abreast of what's going on. But congratulations, thank you.
Thank
You've
you
made
so
an
much,
impact
Sarah.
on all of us today. So make sure that goes in your journal tonight and your evening review.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I'm so grateful for you and the opportunity to talk to you all.
We're
Thank you.
excited, and everyone take Chandani up on that. You can meet with her for 20 minutes. Only between now and when she launches, she's gonna be too busy. So do it now. All right. I'll see everyone soon. Thank you
Bye.
again. Bye.